The 27th of December 2019, Mr. Darrell I. Dizon, Office of the Provincial Director, DILG Quezon Province, Lucena Grand Central Terminal, Lucena City. Dear Director Dizon, a greeting of good tidings for 2020. In light of the series of natural calamity and many work-in-progress man-made issues dominating the headlines and buzz offline as they are happening all at the same time at the different parts of the Philippines, I, for one, appreciate the efforts of the national government to get ahead and be on top of it all. It would seem to online Filipino citizens that combined all these tragedies pose a serious potential delay to the goal and timetable of the administration of our dear President Rodrigo Duterte. The full implication of historical events are not happening because it will come as to how the 2010 to 2020 decade will be viewed as. Will they propel the Republic of the Philippines to a new level of standing just because the Filipinos say so? The program of action that had been approved for releases of funds and budgets can be compromised along the way in the rebuilding of lives back to normalcy and on track to the progress that's been promised them by the Duterte administration. Since it's not just about some few number of individuals, but in the scale that's unprecedented, the involvement and the personal responsibility of the private sector should be equal to the task at hand, or even more if we are to remain on track in the development and progress for the whole of Philippines before 2023. Since even in the private sector, we can be classified as those belonging to the different categories such as, first, those willing and able; second, those willing but they are not able; third, they are able but they are not willing; and fourth, those who are in need of definite details, information before they can respond to the call of times. In my particular case, these loose terms of corresponding processes and proceedings which had taken much of my time in 2019. Hence, in order to establish the appropriate venue and the proper representation that I'm entitled to, I had begged for an opportunity to put my concern at the proper jurisdiction and enlist the help of a competent legal representative, and this pleading had been submitted at the office of the Secretary of the Department of Justice, Honorable Medardo Guevara. What is my status as a private citizen which I lend to the business entity I represent as its CEO? I bring this up formally in order to assure your good office that no effort is being spared to resolve remaining technical matters in conformity to the appropriate due process here in the Philippines, alongside the continuous legitimate business operation of TIBZ. For this reason, in pursuit of the previously sent company profile of Talaga Information and Business Consultancy, may I ask for an endorsement of your good office in order to be given a 15-minute pitch wherever it is possible to speak in person in our vernacular with regard to some vital information that can accomplish the following objectives. First, my physical and personal presence will resolve the disjointed existence of an international platform, which some quarters in Quezon still regard as separate and distinct from a local existence. With the way the local system is currently identifying me alongside those other women who share the name Clarise Garcia in our system, it is my responsibility to make it known about my identification and aspects of my personality. This I must do in my capacity as a citizen of good standing, as my own person with a family who are themselves taxpayers of the province of Quezon, in my profession as a singer-songwriter and as a business owner. It is I who should speak as the same person who have to be acknowledged by my real legal name, by my online screen name, and by the legitimacy of the documents I've previously sent to your good office. Second, This will be an effective beginning to an information dissemination to create awareness with regards to joint efforts of the government and the private sector where I belong here in the city of Lucena and province of Quezon. The disconnect, if it remains unresolved, will pose as a legal and law enforcement issues that can get domestic and international sponsors and donors in trouble, as if they would be responding to the call of a problematic, unknown, unrecognized, and unidentified citizen of the province of Quezon. Third objective, what comes after awareness is cooperation and involvement, which is what my continued goal as a self-appointed partner in terms of information platform that I've been on track to follow up after preliminary validation. The last quarter of 2019, wherein I was supposed to make a personal call at the national offices of DILG and DOTR, as well as DFA, had been put on hold on account of family emergency. And lastly, number 4, it will be a great service to the people of the province of Quezon to be given a chance to make known if there is any personal issues that they may have against the person standing before them, known as Clarise Garcia. Sir, your office would be setting an example as to the protocols and standards wherein should there be real and legitimate issues and grievance, they can be pursued according to the due process set up by the present law of the land before bringing them up for judicial mediation. Let them be threshed out in the civil discourse, which would undoubtedly pave the way for a more personal interactions and participation by the grassroots toward the local government via its officials. The ordinary citizens and those of us who just wish to provide a venue for a civil community discourse can prove to be the most critical artery for information and support in all directions possible. Enclosed herewith is the previous certification that you have so kindly sent me after my personal courtesy call at the office of DILG in Lucena Grand Central Terminal. The validation in terms of my legitimacy initiated by said certification, the application for the new business permit for 2020 come January, the correspondence with the different departments of the Executive Office would be taken up as soon as regular workdays begin in January 2020. With much prayers and appeal, Clarise M. Talaga, CEO, Talaga Information and Business Consultancy, also known as Clarise, singer-songwriter.